Welcome to Beyond Sunday. It's good to see you, Cortland.
Yeah, good to be here.
This is we're in episode 4. Wow,
It's moving.
going viral. So anyway, we talked last time about first love and how important that is to as we saw the church in Ephesus, they were dead right. They did everything right except for what was important. They didn't follow their first love, and it's so easy to allow that to slip. And we're going to talk today about, you would think that the disciples in the very presence of Jesus, and he's teaching them, that first love would be, like breathing. And they lost it.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk today about how the disciples lost their first love. And many of us as ministers are unfulfilled. All the Barna research shows that a large majority of pastors spend their days in an unfulfilled role. Maybe it's because of, the first time we talked about unreal or preconceived notions that are wrong. So maybe that's the problem. Or maybe they're getting sidetracked and not seeing people as opportunities and seeing them as obstacles. All those things that we've talked about. And the church in Ephesus that we looked at last time, man, they were standing against evil. They were standing against heresy. They did great, but they lost their first love. And I just thought, Cortland, we need one more week on this. We need one more time.
Yeah.
Let's do this again. So we want to welcome you, and great to have an audience. That's kind of cool. We went from the very first episode to welcoming our listener to much more. That's great. And a lot of the people here are part of the GAP event, and that's really cool to be a part of the GAP event. gap-event.org. Did I get that right, Randy? gap-event.org is where you want to go to sign up to be a part of it. And there's resources for pastors on there. There's sermons. There's all kind of things that we'll do together. So we hope that you'll join us on that. So today I want to talk, Cortland, about those people who walked daily with Jesus, had a relationship with Jesus, and still lost their perspective. So you are my partner in this podcast. You doing good today?
Doing well. Happy to be here.
Middle of winter,
Yeah.
Cold outside, maybe snowing where you're at. Who knows? This is good to have you today.
Good cup of coffee and sit with us for a moment.
Good cup of coffee. Got a banjo on the wall. If we lose context, I'll just pull it out and just start playing. We'll see. So I want to be in the book of Luke today, and I want to see Jesus has a vision. He has a mission. He knows where he's going. Jesus doesn't have to wake up every day and wonder. He doesn't have to come up with a new mission statement. He had one mission statement.
Yeah.
Seek and save the lost.
Right.
And his obedience to the Father was seek and save the lost. While I'm here, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So Jesus had his mission statement, and that's what he was doing, and he wanted his disciples to get on the same page, and they just didn't. They were never on the same page. Does that happen to us?
I think so. It's a little bit refreshing to know that with Jesus, they got off the right page. We count on Jesus, right? We know him, we love him, but it is those quick degrees of separation that can lead us way off track.
Luke chapter 9 is where I want to go today. So Luke 9:51 through 54. I love doing that because it's right in front of us on the screen, and I'm just bouncing right along. I think that's kind of fun to do. Luke chapter 9, verse 51, it says, it came about when the days were approaching for his ascension. I don't know that we have time to talk about this today, but why doesn't it say his crucifixion?
Yeah.
Because Luke thinks, there's more to the story than a crucifixion. And so he wants you to know it's not just his time to die, it's his time to be glorified.
Right.
And his ascension is his glorification. So, man, I could spend the next 4 episodes, I love that.
It's the completeness, right?
That is so cool.
Yeah.
He resolutely set his face to go to Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Man, what a picture. So everyone knew where he turned the vehicle, he turned the car, camel, donkey, whatever it is he had. He said, this is the way we're going. He put on the GPS. I don't know how many of you have autonomous Teslas. Its pastor's probably one. So, I don't know how many of you have that, but man, Jesus turned on the automatic and he said it. This is my GPS. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, this is not only his face, his everything about him was pointed to one destination.
And don't you get annoyed when you set a destination and you decide to go to Buc-ee's
To add a stop.
and you just pull into Buc-ee's?
Right. And
And-
it keeps telling you, you're wrong,
Yeah.
wrong, turn
At the
around,
next-
do a
At
U-turn.
the next U-turn, please. You're pulling in thinking I'm going to go to Buc-ee's. I'm going to get this, and she just won't stop talking. And I think this is Jesus. He set his face,
Yeah.
and they just kept turning into Buc-ee's. I'm not sure what it was, but they were turning. They kept going a different way, and he just. The whole rest of his life, the whole rest of his ministry, especially in the book of Luke, is him constantly pulling them back into the mission and the vision
Yeah.
of where they're going.
Yeah.
But man, they missed it. Let's just keep looking at this this part of the story. He sets his face. He sent messengers ahead of him. They went and entered a village of the Samaritans to make arrangements for him. Samaritans, those of you on the other end, I don't think we have to give historical background to this group. They know more than I do. Many of them could tell us more about this, but this was not a good area to go to.
Right.
This was hostile territory.
But it was on the way to Jerusalem, and that's really the point.
That's the point. Is
Yeah.
I'm set there, and so
You have to go through here
my
to get
GPS
there, and so we're going
my
through.
GPS
Yeah.
puts me here, and I'm not going to Buc-ee's. We need to go to Buc-ee's again soon. And it says, verse 53, they did not receive him because he was journeying with his face toward Jerusalem. Now, the Jesus I know, this is intentional. He wanted them to turn with him. He had a goal not just of him going to Jerusalem. He had a goal of turning the Samaritans back towards their homeland. He had a goal of turning the Samaritans back towards their family.
Right.
This is his cousins, and this is Jesus trying to say, let's all go back to that place that we all belong, instead of having two different worlds where you have your face and we have our face looking this way. So I think in my head, Jesus didn't just turn his face for the disciples; he turned hoping that his family in Samaria might join him and come back. So, and there's a lot to unpack there for a sermon, and this isn't a sermon, but boy, it sure feels like it. So they didn't receive him. His face was toward Jerusalem. His disciples, James and John, saw this. Now, these are the superstars. Peter, James, John,
That
Andrew.
inner circle.
This is the inner circle. His disciples, James and John, saw this. They said, Lord, do you want us to command fire to come down from heaven and consume them? So here he is trying to be a witness, trying to take them along. He's got his GPS, it's set, and they're like, let's go this way. Let's pull in here. Let's go somewhere different because we don't like the way that you're taking us. I just have to stop and say to our Beyond Sunday crew, Monday's the day that I turn into Buc-ee's. Monday's, any of us that are pastors who ever tried to diet,
Yeah.
what's the one day that we can't diet?
I didn't know you were going to call me out on this podcast, but okay, fine. I'll go. I'll go with you. Yes, Monday's the day that the things are out of order.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you could miss something on a Monday. You had such a great Sunday,
Yeah.
and now you're alone in an office, maybe by yourself.
There's brownies in the kitchen.
Oh, there's always something, right?
Yeah. And when I come in during the week, on a Tuesday, this is not Beyond Tuesday, but on Taco Tuesdays, I can come into the office and there's brownies in the kitchen. I don't care. Wednesdays, I don't care. Thursdays, I'm stronger than that.
Yeah.
Friday,
Yeah.
I don't care. Saturday, I come in and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm gonna stay with my resolve.
And by Saturday, your face is
My
turned
face
towards
is
Jerusalem. You're ready.
Yeah. Monday,
No.
I'll eat every brownie in the building. And I tell the children's pastor in the church, hide everything you have
Yeah.
from Sunday left over from the children.
Yeah.
Find a place to hide it. Now, I know where she hides it, which is a bad thing. But don't tell her. Maybe she's not watching our podcast. But it's on Monday that we lose our vision. I just happen to wonder if this was, well, their Monday would be a Sunday. I wonder if this was the day after the Sabbath or a time when they just didn't have any emotional stability, and ability to follow Christ. We often lose our followership of Christ on that first day of the week. Why? Because our tank is just so empty. And next episode, we're going to talk about the empty tank some. So anyway, Jesus is trying to lead them, and they have lost their first love. They've lost perspective. They don't see him as their leader. They see themselves in a different view. They see the people of Samaria as an obstacle instead of an opportunity. All the things that we've podcasted, is that the way to use that word?
Sure.
All the things that we have podcasted over the last 4 weeks, they've lost their perspective. And all of a sudden they have their own vision. They have where Jesus should go instead of turning their hearts and their heads with him.
And note too, just one more thing. They're willing to, instead of following God in flesh in front of them and do what he's done as he has turned his face and he has moved through through Samaria towards Jerusalem, they're willing to go, God, can you just eliminate, can you rain down fire? Should we, Jesus? Should we just rain down fire on these folks?
Take them out.
Because they're not going with you. And they're also distracted. They're also turned. Now they're concerned with the detail of these people instead of where Jesus is going and how they can follow him to this destination, this point.
There was a time in my church that I was really going a certain direction with the church. And I don't know if I just came up with this direction without praying. I don't know how I got there. But no one was following. I was just going out on a good walk. No one's behind me. And it was the fall, and so the leaves had all fallen in my backyard. I live on a hill, and in order to get my leaves around to one side of the house, I had to blow the leaves up the hill, with my blower. And the wind was blowing east to west that day, which meant it was coming against me. And I spent an hour, barely moving a leaf, and working so hard. And I went inside and then just decided, I can't do this. I'm gonna have to buy a rake or a mulcher, spend some money on, some equipment, whatever. And then I come back the next day, the wind has turned west to east, whatever the opposite was, or north to south, south to north, whatever it was. The wind had shifted. And I started at the top of the property and got in the flow with where God was blowing. And man, it took half an hour.
Yeah.
All those leaves, I live on a hill. You should have seen the wave that was coming all the way down that hill, just, a couple feet high of leaves. So much fun. And I remember the Holy Spirit saying, if you would get into the wave, and this goes back to my seminary days of Peter Wagner and its study of the Crest of the Wave book. Everybody knows that book. If you get into the wave of where God's going, where his face is turned, ministry is so much easier. Not that I wasn't doing a good thing. I was taking the church in a good direction, but it wasn't where the wind of God was blowing.
And maybe it was a necessary direction, but it wasn't the time. The time was
direction.
right. And 51 at the at the time, as the time approached for him to be taken up into heaven. This is God's timing. This is the direction we're going. Jesus recognized it. His first love follows. Those who are following him begin to go with him and slightly turn a degree, a little bit of separation. And now not only are they turned to what's going on with these folks in Samaria, they're willing to call down fire on them. And Jesus is like, no, we're going here.
Yeah.
The crest of the wave, the way where God is drawing us because he loves us and we love him, we don't follow. Yeah.
So this has been a good study. Next time we come back, we're going to jump into a couple different things. We're going to look at how to know when you are losing your love. So, what I said three times ago in our podcast, this may take a little bit longer to unfold.
Yeah.
And it really is going to take a little bit longer. So next time, let's look at some its symptoms. How do you know when you're losing your first love? And in a lot of ways, we can look at our marriages, and it kind of mirrors that first love relationship. If we see our commitment to God and our relationship with God on this Beyond Sunday podcast, if we really look at that as a marital relationship that we need to keep fresh, not I went to an altar 20 years ago,
Right.
or I was at camp as a child, but as today I want a fresh relationship. My wife will never be happy if the last time I was romantic, was at the wedding. She wants me to still chase her. Now she doesn't run very fast, but she likes to be chased.
I'm sorry, Kim. I'm sorry.
And she's never been a fast runner when it comes to us, but she does like for someone to pursue her. And I think as we go into next week's episode, we need to talk about the fact that we never stop pursuing God.
Yeah.
Ask, seek, knock. We'll do that next week. So today we're talking about some symptoms of losing first love. We lose hope, we lose perspective, we lose vision, all those things. And even the people that were walking with Jesus as he turned his face toward Jerusalem, even those people were not able to keep that first love. There's something missing, and we'll talk about that missing ingredient maybe in the next episode.
Yeah.
Maybe the next one after that. We'll see.
Excellent.
So Galatians 6:9, I always like to end with Galatians 6:9. Let us not lose heart in doing good, for in due time we shall reap if we do not grow weary. I'd like to remind our listeners, if you have the opportunity, to go ahead and they say ring the bell or push subscribe, and share this podcast with others. There's other ministers. If you make it a goal that once you watch this podcast and you feel like, okay, God's doing something good here, send it to a bunch of other ministers. And if you've not signed up for Gap Events and you don't know what Gap Events is yet, gap-event.org. I say that quite often. Cortland, as we're talking Beyond Sunday, one of the best things for me has always been to be a part of a group. I mean, I've been a pastor of 22 people. And when I was a pastor of 22 people, I needed to be a part of a group that was something bigger.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And we learned how to have identity at 20-something people. And it was really good that we found an identity of who we are at that point in time. But it really helped me to know other ministers and to be a part of other ministries at that point in time. So to me, gapevent.org is an opportunity to be a part of something that I could never do on my own. It's not just a nationwide movement. The prayer meeting we had in 2024, was a worldwide movement. And so we need to be parts of things that are bigger. And the other thing is, you said it in the last podcast, there's a wave in our country. God's blowing a direction. His face is set. There's revival happening among our young people.
Right.
And it has been happening through a bunch of different events. But we need to get in that context of what God's doing to ride that wave with him. His face is set. He knows where he's going.
Right.
And we have to, as I just said in Galatians 6:9, do not lose heart in doing good. Find the good thing God's doing and don't give up. On the other side of that camera, and from me and Cortland, keep up the good work.